Okay, so I think, wow, I see quite a few of you all have joined in. So superb, let's get started then. Cool. So here's what we're going to be talking about in today's session. It's going to be about the importance of data backup and recovery. Before I actually get started, I want to just take a moment and introduce the other organizers who are a part of the event and who will help me address any questions that you have at the end of the presentation. We have Kuldeep Singh, who is the team lead for web customer support, and we have Kanchi Nagori, who is a sales specialist. You'll get to interact with them hopefully at the end of the session if any of your questions are relevant to their domains. Next is me. Like most of y'all already know, my name is Meg. I am a customer support team lead. To tell you a little about myself, I have more than 6 years experience in the web industry. Something that really intrigues me is web technology. Primarily why? Because web technologies keep changing from time to time, right? And with these changes, you got to kind of update yourself also. So that's what intrigues me, and I'm kind of very you can say cling towards web technology and the web industry, and I don't see myself stepping away from it anytime soon. So that's just a little about me. And yes, I'm going to be the presenter for today. I'm going to be walking you all through this entire topic and the session. Super. Before I actually get into the contents of the session, I want to just quickly brush up on the basic interface that you guys are currently on. That's the webinar interface. So what you'll see on the left hand side is what the desktop users will right now be seeing. And the picture that you see on the right is what those of you all who've joined from your mobile phones will see. Now, out of this interface, there'll be two options that I will be needing your help with, and you guys will be using a lot. The first option is going to be the raise hand option, which I'm going to use real soon, just after this slide. And second is the questions and comments section, right? It's really important, guys, because that's going to be the option through which we both are going to communicate today. So if you guys have any questions or if you want to ask me anything, please click on the questions tab, and the moment I look at it, I'll ensure that I'm answering any of those questions. Once the complete presentation starts, if you'll drop in any questions, I'll be more than happy to address them at the end of the session. Okay. Super. So now let me just ensure that I'm loud and clear. All of y'all can hear me. So if you can hear me clearly, can you please click on the raise hand option? Again, if you guys can hear me clearly, please click on the raise hand option. I can see a few hands coming up. Requesting the others also, if you can hear me clearly, please click on the raise hand option. Okay, great, superb. I can see plenty of hands going up. So great. It's good to know that I'm audible, loud and clear. If any of you all still cannot hear me, I'll request you all to just exit the call and you can rejoin the call. Probably it should work for you. Okay. Great. So here's the agenda for today. Here's what we're going to be talking about. I'm going to start off with the very basics. I'm going to be talking about what is data backup and what is recovery. Okay. Very basics. After that, I'm going to jump on to what is the importance of a data backup. Why is it important for any organization or any business to store a data backup of all the website content? Post that, I'm going to move on to what data should I back up, right? It's a very common question that we ask nowadays, given the fact that we are storing so much of content. Do I need to back it all up, or do I need to back up only certain things? So I'm just going to be touch base on those bits also. Post that, I'm going to move on to best practices for data backup. Now in this entire deck, this is my favorite section. So I'm really excited to actually walk you all through this section, primarily because I'm going to be showing you all what do web professionals and experts do when they think about data backup and recovery. Okay, so stay tuned for that. And last but not the least, I'm going to be talking a little about how does Bluehost as a brand help their customers when it comes to data backups and recovery. Okay, great. Before I get started, I want this session to be a little more interactive. So I've kind of just put in some polls because I want to hear from you guys also. So I'm going to be releasing a poll right now. It goes such that which of the following do you identify yourself with? Okay, based on your business, based on your background, I want you all to go ahead and select the relevant poll. Okay, I'll give you all 30 seconds, guys. Come on, let's do this. Okay, great. I can see a couple of responses coming in. Let's wait for a few more seconds for the others also to fill in their responses. Okay, superb. I see most of y'all have gone ahead and filled the poll. So, wow, I've got quite a few responses. Thank you so much, guys. This is going to kind of help me proceed with the presentation. Okay, great. Let's get started with the very first section of this presentation. That's basics. What is data backup and what is recovery? Okay, starting off with what is a backup. So a backup is nothing but you creating a copy or an archive of your actual content. Now this can be your website content or it can be your emails, right? Anything that is really important for you, you're creating a copy of that and storing it in another location. That's what backup is. To give you a really simple example, let's say that you have lost your primary key of your house and you aren't able to enter your door now, right? If you have a spare key, you can still enter the house, right? So that's what backup is, where you are keeping a spare copy of your website content in another location, which you can use if you've lost your primary content or if something has gone wrong with the main content. You can simply take that backup and get your services back online. As simple as that. Okay. Next is the types of backups. Now, there are two types of backups. The first one is manual backups, and the second one is automated backups. Manual backups is nothing but you manually logging into your server every now and then to go ahead and copy paste your content or duplicate the content and store it maybe on your local system or any other place, right? But it requires a lot of manual effort because you have to log into your hosting server every time to make a copy of your content, right? That's the first type of backup. The second type of backup is automated backups, where you need not have to log into the server every now and then. You need to submit your information just once. So it can be a script, it can be an application or a software where you will enter your credentials and the software or the application does the rest for you. Right? It will automatically take backups from time to time based on your requirements, but you need not have to log into the server. So these are the main two types of backups that you can take for your website content. Moving on to options for storing for backups. Now, what are the options for storing backups? Where can I store my backups? Let's say I have downloaded a backup, but what are the variety of devices where I can store my content, right? So one option is you can store it on a removable media. It can maybe a pen drive or it could be a CD, right? You can store your contents there. You could also store your backup files on an external hard drive. If you have a portable hard disk, you can store it on that for safety. Another very commonly used storage device is the cloud architecture right now. Since we are in an age where everything is moving on the cloud, a lot of people prefer storing the backups on the cloud itself because it offers redundancy, right? And that's the reason why people prefer storing most of their backups on the cloud. Another very commonly used option is using a third party professional service, right? So we have a lot of companies out there who offer backup services. We call it as BaaS. It's backup as a service. So where they will charge you a certain fee and they have an application or software that will automatically take all your backups, where you need not worry about whether your backup is there or not there. You just set it up once and their application or software does it all for you. So these are the most common options where you can store your backups. Last but not the least is what is recovery of backups, right? Now we know that we've taken a backup, we've stored it in a location, but let's say our business has gone down, our website is not functioning. At that point, we need to turn to our backup and take that backup and put it back on the hosting server to ensure that our business goes back online, right? And that entire process is called recovery of backups, where you're using that backup that you had taken for your main website once again, ensuring that our services aren't having any downtime. So yeah, that was just the very basics, guys. To summarize it, the entire backup and recovery process has three main steps. Your first step is to duplicate, that is, create a copy of your important information. Okay. Your second step is to store that information in a safe and reliable location. And the third step is to identify, that is, recognize from that backup what is really important and what do you need to use in order to restore your services. Okay, so really simple, just these three steps is the entire backup and recovery cycle. Now, just to ensure that all of y'all are still awake, I'm going to be releasing another poll real quick. I really want all of y'all to participate in this. The poll goes as such: which mode of backup do you find preferable? Storing manual backups on the cloud, storing manual backups on an external hard drive, storing manual backups on your local computer, or using an automated paid backup service? Again, if you are already a website owner who is taking backups, you can select the option which you are currently using when it comes to backups. And even if you aren't an individual who already is taking backups of his website, you can choose an option that you would prefer based on what I've mentioned in the previous slide. Great, I can see a lot of responses coming in. So I'm happy I haven't actually made any of you all sleepy just yet. Okay, cool, great. I've got quite a few responses. Thank you so much, guys. Let's move on to the next bit. So what is the importance of a data backup? Why is it important for any of us or any business owner to ensure that he has a copy of his content stored somewhere? Now, when it comes to websites or emails, etc., right, there are multiple reasons because of which you can face downtime, right? I've just taken an opportunity to list a few of these, the most commonly the most common incidents you can say that occur because of which your business can go down. So malicious attack, like if your website does have an attack, then your website services could go down. If there's a hardware failure or software failure or even a human caused event where you have done a mistake while maybe updating a plugin or making some code changes, all of these are scenarios where your website will go down. And if you do not have a backup stored with you, then you'll be in a really difficult situation, because then you have to sit and identify what the problem is, then fix the problem. All of that is very time consuming. But if you have a backup with you, you can simply take that backup and get all your services back online and then figure out what went wrong, right? So at least your business does not face any downtime. And that's the reason why it's really important for us to ensure for us to ensure that our business is running smoothly. We need to ensure that we have reliable backups stored with us. Now, to further emphasize on the importance of backup, what I've done is I've gone ahead and put some global information on this slide here. So these are the statistics of hosting providers out there who have gone ahead and done thorough analysis on downtimes that websites face and the businesses that get impacted because of these downtimes. So if you look at the very first point, right, 40 to 60% of small businesses do not reopen after data loss. And the main reason why that happens is because they don't have a backup with them, right? 40 to 60% is a very large number, guys, right? That's how many businesses at this point in time are getting impacted just because they did not have a reliable backup with them, right? Moving on, if you see, small businesses can face a revenue loss of approximately $8,000 per hour just because of the downtime that could happen because of any of those previously mentioned reasons. The average cost of downtime that a large scale enterprise could have could be almost 11,600 per minute, $11,600 per minute. And on an average, irrespective of whether it's a large scale or a small scale business, if your website goes down, you could face a revenue loss of $4,500 per minute. So can you see the amount of revenue that you and your business could actually lose primarily because of not having a backup? If you have a backup, you can quickly restore all of it and your services do not stay down, right? Further below, if you see, you'll see 40% of the cases when it comes to downtime is contributed due to hardware failures. Now, hardware failures is something that you aren't even mostly responsible for, right? It could be maybe some problem at the data center or maybe a problem at your hosting provider's end, right? 40% of the cases when websites go down, it's because of hardware failures where you aren't even responsible and there is nothing much that you can do. But if you have a backup, you can quickly load that backup on an alternate location and load the website from there, right? Rather, depending on when the hosting provider, when the data center resolves the issue. Another important stat here is human errors lead to almost 29% of the cases when it comes to information loss. And by human error, I mean it is nothing but you probably updating a plugin, doing some mistake, or maybe you were simply updating the background image of your website. Something as small as that could cause your entire website to break. And if you do not have a backup, you're again in a very difficult situation. So these stats are just to emphasize a little more on why is it so important for us to keep backups with us. Okay, so I hope this helps you all understand the importance of backup. Moving on to a very common question that everybody has, what data should I be backing up, right? Now, as a baseline, I want to mention that you should back up anything that cannot be replaced if it's lost. Okay, I'll repeat. You should back up anything that can't be replaced if it's lost. Now, this is something that depends from business to business and from user to user, right? For me, A could be really important, so I'm going to back that up. But for you, B could be really important. It depends on your business, right? So you need to identify what is it that you cannot replace if it's lost. That is something that you need to back up. That said, I've also listed down what are the most common things that in today's age, web pros or web users go ahead and back up. So you'll see address books, pictures, videos, website files, emails, documents, spreadsheets, financial databases. These are the most common things that users today go ahead and back up. But again, guys, this is not something that you all need to set in stone. This will change from business to business, and you need to be the one taking the call on what's really important and what you should be backing up. Okay, another poll. So what's the approximate size of your website content which you should like, which you would like to back up, right? So again, I'm pretty sure most of y'all have websites. Even if y'all don't have a website, I'm pretty sure I'll have a brief idea of what y'all are going to be making here soon. So based on that, what's the approximate content or disk storage that y'all are looking to consume for your website? I want y'all to go ahead and start submitting your polls for this. Okay, great. I can see quite a few responses, guys. 10 seconds more. If any of you all haven't filled it yet, please go ahead and fill it. Okay, super. Thank you so much. Let's move on to the next bit. That's my favorite section in this deck. That's best practices for data backup. So in this section, I'm going to be giving you all a sneak peek into what web professionals and large scale businesses do when they talk about data backup and recovery. Now, the very first rule to remember is the 3-2-1 rule, right? Now, what is the 3-2-1 rule? The 3-2-1 rule is nothing but you ensuring that first step is to create 3 copies of your backup. Okay. Second is to store 2 of those copies in 2 separate locations, right? One could be stored maybe on the same hosting server where your website is hosted. And second could be maybe a cloud architecture or maybe a Google Drive, right? You can store it in any of these locations. And the last bit is the third copy that you've created needs to be stored in an offshore location, right? By offshore location, I mean a location that isn't connected to the internet. For example, that could be your external hard drive, right? Or a pen drive. You need to ensure that 2 copies are stored, one on the same server, one maybe on a cloud architecture, and one needs to be stored on an offshore location. This is what every web professional does, primarily because if you are following this rule, there will never come an instance where you do not have access to your content, right? If things go wrong, you always have a copy of your website stored in either one of these places, and you can go ahead and get your services back online, right? So I strongly recommend everybody on this call right now, if you all haven't heard of this, please start following this because it comes really handy when you do encounter downtime. Moving on to what's next after we follow the 3-2-1 rule, what do we do after that? So the next section is what to look for in a solution. So before you go ahead and start backing up your content, you got to do a lot of research around what should I be doing? What is my approach towards taking a backup? Should I be doing manual backup? Should I be going for automated backups? If let's say I'm going for a provider where I want them to automatically back everything up, you need to do some competitor analysis, see the pricing of what pricing are they offering, what is the amount of storage that they're offering, how frequently will the backups be taken, etc. 1 minute. Yeah. So that's the what to look for solution part, which is more research based. Okay. Once you've made your mind on, okay, this is the provider that I want to go with, this is the plan I want to take, then comes make a plan and test it out. Right. This is nothing but you actually go ahead and you go ahead and start backing up all your content. Right. After you've backed up the content, you need to go back and take a look and ensure that whatever has been backed up is accurate and to the point. Right. Does it have all of your website content or is something missing in it? Right? Once you've ensured that all your backups, everything are getting stored properly, you also need to spend a week or two restoring that content back on the server to ensure that if your website does go down, these backups are actually very useful and whether they're reliable or not. Right? So restore that content back on the server to see if it's all good or not. Again, this is just some testing that you need to do for the first 2 weeks. Once you've completed this testing, you don't need to go back and turn and check if your backups are reliable or not, because you've tested it out in the first 2 weeks itself, right? And then for years together, you can let the backups run the way they are running. So that's the next phase. Okay. After that comes RPO and RTO, which is nothing but your recovery point objective and recovery time objective. What is recovery point objective? Recovery point objective is nothing but the overall downtime that is acceptable for your business, right? So whenever your website goes down, your business is down, you will have revenue loss, right? And you need to predict that, okay, if my website is down for this much time, how much revenue am I going to lose, and what is an acceptable downtime limit for me, right? So let's assume that 1 hour is an acceptable time. So that up to a 1 hour downtime is something that me and my business can kind of get through, right? It's not going to be a huge impact. The moment the downtime crosses an hour, then it's going to be a problem for me and my company, right? So you need to ensure that you've calculated that well in advance. And recovery time objective is nothing but the overall time that you will take to go ahead and restore your contents and get your business back up, right? So RTO is also very important, primarily because you need to know how long is your team or the application going to take to restore your content. Again, this is going to differ from business to business depending on how much content you have stored for your website. Like a 5 GB website could take maybe 30 minutes, but a 100 GB website could take hours together, right? So RPO and RTO are very important because if you haven't planned this before the actual downtime and you wait for the downtime to occur, when the downtime comes, you and your organization will be in a very huge state of panic, you can say. There's going to be a lot of chaos because you don't know how long it's going to take for your services to go back up, and neither do you know how much revenue are you going to lose, because you don't know how long the incident is going to go on, right? So making a note of RPO and RTO is very important for every organization. And these are all the practices that most of the web professionals out there follow, and I would recommend for everybody on this call too. Superb. Let's move on to the last bit of this presentation. That's how can Bluehost help? How do we as a brand help our customers go about with backup and recovery? So CodeGuard is the answer to that. Now, CodeGuard is not a Bluehost product. It is another vendor, but CodeGuard is a vendor who has been providing backup services for many years in the market, and it is used globally worldwide by different web professionals and large scale organizations. Now, why do people turn to CodeGuard? They primarily turn to CodeGuard because it's secure, it's safe, it's easy to use, right? These are the reasons why so many companies out there use CodeGuard, and that's the reason why Bluehost has also chosen to tie up with CodeGuard and offer it with all our hosting products, right? So if you have any product with Bluehost, or if you plan to purchase it from Bluehost in the near future, we can assure you that you can go ahead and add a CodeGuard to it on any product. It doesn't matter which server you are buying with us. That's because we understand the importance of backups. In fact, with most of our shared hosting plans, the most commonly bought shared hosting plans, as well as the WordPress hosting plans, we offer CodeGuard as a bundle. It comes with the plan itself, right? So you don't need to pay any additional amount also. And the product with Bluehost is very flexible. You can choose whichever tenure you want, and you can also go ahead and choose the amount of disk that you wish. If you have a large website, you can go ahead and upgrade the CodeGuard plan to ensure that you're backing up all your content. Now, CodeGuard has a lot of features. I've listed a few of those features here, but again, this is not the end of the list. CodeGuard has a lot more features which they offer, and I would encourage you all to visit their website and go through that list. But I'm also going to go through the top features that it has. So the first is daily automated backups. So in CodeGuard, it will take a backup as in when you want it to take a backup. If you want a daily backup, it will take a daily backup. If you want it to take weekly or monthly backups, it will take a weekly or monthly backup. So you can schedule and tell CodeGuard when you want it to back up its contents. Okay, it has one-click restores. Let's say your services have gone down, you can go ahead and restore any backup of any date and time with just one click. You just go to the CodeGuard dashboard and click on restore, and CodeGuard will automatically restore all of your contents back to the server, and your website goes back to the way it was a couple of days back, or whichever time frame you choose. Another very important feature with CodeGuard is malware monitoring. So CodeGuard has an additional functionality where before downloading any backup, it will run a thorough scan. If it finds any kind of infection or malware in your files, it will go ahead and try removing that content, and only then will it back up the entire server. Automated WordPress updates. Now this is for all those WordPress users out there. Many of you all worry about outdated plugins, outdated themes, right? But CodeGuard has a functionality where before taking a backup, it will automatically update your plugin or themes which are outdated, right? Not just that, it makes an additional check that after updating the plugin, if something has broken on your website, it will immediately revoke the changes and put it back to the older version that it was, and then back up the content. So for WordPress users, it's very easy. In fact, if you have a WordPress service with us, you have a WordPress website with Bluehost, you don't even need to actually enter the credentials or get CodeGuard set up. You just need to go and click on one button that's activate backup, and we will go ahead and pass on all the information to CodeGuard and get you completely set up. So it's really easy when it comes to WordPress users. It also has file changing monitoring, where if any of your files are modified or if any kind of code changes are made to your files without your knowledge, CodeGuard will notify you immediately, and you can go ahead and prevent any kind of unauthorized change to your website. It also supports email backups and is fully automated. By fully automated, I mean it's a one-time setup. You just need to enter your credentials of your file system as well as your databases one time, and thereafter for years together, CodeGuard will do the job for you. So at this point in time, we have more than 12,000 happy customers with Bluehost using our backup services, and that's the reason why I would strongly encourage you all. For those of you all who haven't actually gone ahead and experienced our backup services yet, I would strongly encourage you to do so, because these are the amount of customers who are happy and have stuck with our backup services. Okay, we are reaching the end of the session now. Before I sign off, I was just on the web the other day and I came across this quote which I found really relevant to this topic. And here's how it goes. Replacing your computer system or a phone is an easy task, but replacing your data is not. So be safe and back it up. That's it for me, guys. You all have been super patient. Thank you so much. If you all have any questions, now's the time. I'll be more than happy to address any questions that you all have. You guys should see the questions option right there, and I'm excited to answer any questions that you all have. Okay, so I can see one question by Sumit. It goes as, I have created a page for HTML5 games by embedding. Is it safe? So I think you're referring to backing up your content, right? Using any of the backup mechanisms. Yes, it is safe to back up any of your HTML codes, even if it's embedded, right? It will back up the complete content on the X location. So if you're using CodeGuard, then it will store it on the cloud. But even if you are going ahead and taking manual backups, right, it is safe to store it as long as you are storing it in a secure location, right? So if let's say it's your hard drive, you need to ensure that the hard drive is stored in a safe location, because as you know, embedded content can be easily if it is extracted by somebody, it can be used in various ways. So I would recommend you to use an automated backing up system if you are backing up embedded content or code. I have one question from Via Satish. Is cloud backup safe? Kuldeep, do you want to take this one? Okay, I'm not sure if Kuldeep is there, but let me answer it for you. So yes, cloud backups are very safe. The reason why is because cloud offers redundancy. Let's say even if an X server goes down where your content is stored, there's always a copy of that content in another location on another server, and you can access that information at any time. So cloud is definitely very safe, primarily because of redundancy. You can access your content even if there's a hardware failure, because the cloud architecture is such, it will load your content from elsewhere, so you will always be able to get hands on your content. So yes, via Satish, the answer is cloud is really safe in comparison to normal SSD or HDD servers. Okay, I'm waiting for a couple of more questions to come in. Okay, so Sumit has another question. He said, in the wires section, with regards to wires specifically, he's created a page which is embedded with HTML5 code. Is it safe or can it carry wires for me? So when it comes to HTML codes, right, and you're embedding it from your website, there can be SQL injections to the website itself, right? So those can actually go ahead and modify your files. So it is not completely safe, I would say, unless and until you have a safety mechanism put in place. Like for example, there are scanners like SiteLock, etc. With Bluehost, with all our plans, we do offer SiteLock. So if you have something of that sort, they necessarily cannot prevent the injection, but they can notify you when there is an injection. So you get that notification the moment somebody is trying to modify or inject any code into your HTML code, and you can immediately go ahead and prevent that from happening. I hope that answers your question, Sumit. Okay, there's another question here. Are you providing website migration services from other hosting to Bluehost? Kansi, do you want to take this one?
Yeah, sure. So it's completely dependent on what kind of a website you build. If you have a WordPress website, we can do the migration for you. But provided you purchase either one of our plans, which is the Choice Plus or the Pro plan, so you can go ahead in Bluehost.in. You will be able to see a few plans listed there, and we have mentioned that we do provide a free WordPress migration option for you all. You just have to get in touch with the team and give us your WordPress credentials. And we have the migration team who can assist you with migrating your WordPress dashboard entirely to Bluehost now. I hope that answers your question.
Okay, thanks, Kansi. Sumit, you had a follow-up on the previous, right? What about backing up that content, right? So if you have, let's say, automated backup setup, you will have backups multiple time frames. Like if you set up a daily backup, you'll have every day's backup. And let's say your code gets injected yesterday, you can always turn back in time and go back and restore day before yesterday's content. So referring to will the viruses also get backed up? Again, for CodeGuard specifically, yes, it, and if it any infections, it attempts to remove it. But again, it does not guarantee that every infection will be eradicated and completely removed and will back up. So that's the reason why, even if that does not work, let's say if the automated system is backing up infected code also, you can always go back to the days prior to the infection and restore that content. But yes, CodeGuard does have a malware check where it looks for any kind of infected codes, and it will try and remove those codes. Okay, Naresh has a really good question here. It goes as, is there any option to back up automatically as I make any change in the website? So yes, Naresh, if you're referring to paid services like CodeGuard, etc., there is a settings option where the moment any kind of change is made, you can tell it to back it up immediately. So on hosting servers, by default, I have never seen any such option where when something is modified to immediately trigger a backup, you kind of schedule backups. But with paid services, these professional BaaS services that are there, yes, you can tell the application to back it up the moment it detects a modification in any of your files. Sumit has written, the current Pro plan on Bluehost is already backing up my content. Do I still need CodeGuard? Kuldeep Kanchi, do you want to take this?
Yeah,
Uh,
sure. Yeah, Kuldeep, go ahead.
sure, Gandhi, thank you. So, Sumi, definitely you got the basic plan with the Pro plan that you have purchased, and that has a certain limit, right? It provides you up to 1 GB, up to 5 websites. So, if that plan is sufficient enough for you, it's meeting a requirement, you can go ahead with that. Like Meg mentioned earlier, also, if you have a requirement for a higher size backup to be stored on the server, definitely you will have to go for the higher plan. But in the present scenario, if the basic plan is suiting your need, you can stick to it.
Okay, great. Uh, any other questions, guys? Please go ahead and fill them in. Okay, superb. I don't see any other newer questions coming in, but I hope this session was useful for all of you all. And if you guys still have any doubts, you could see my Twitter handle is on the presentation. You can reach out to me or feel free to reach out to our sales and support teams. We'll be more than happy to address any questions that you have. Okay, great, superb. Thank you so much, guys, for joining in. See you.